we are pushed so much to rush, rush life and to just run through it and to not really find ourselves. By the time you're 18, you're forced to sort of choose what you want to do for the rest of your life. And it's a crazy prospect to think that by such a young age of 18, or even 16, you can go to the military and then fight in a war that you don't understand. There's so much stress and so much unnecessary rush that is pushed on us to when, ultimately, I think most people would prefer a simple life, out in nature with sunshine, growing their own food, living on a plot of land with a small community and just kind of existing and creating culture, creating art, creating meaning through that community. And I don't want to sit here and say that my life is so hard, because I have all the modern conveniences. But I think that what a lot of us are missing, those who grew up in this Western society, is that we don't really have that community. We don't have the time to think for ourselves because we're always constantly thinking about, where we're going to get our money from and how much more money we can make and where we could be in 5 years in our company, and all this stress, all this unnecessary stress, which ultimately I think that we don't really care about deep down. We care about the money because it brings us income, but we don't care necessarily about what we are doing. And I think a lot of our time is kind of being stolen from us, and it leads us to feel meaningless, or it leads us to feel this empty void because God is dead. Not many people are following the Christian God because science has kind of taken its place, and even science has not filled that void because there is no community there. It is just facts. Right now, life is feeling quite empty for a lot of us. You know, Religion is dead and our community is not there. We have no way to build culture or to build a meaningful myth of, you know, ourselves and how we fit into this world. The myths of old, connected people to their heritage and their land. Myth is born from land, and then from that land, the people are born, and it's all something that is melded together. It's a meaning that you have with something, or you have a place to connect yourself to. And now all we can connect to is money and material things. And I think slowly many people are realizing that this void cannot be filled by the money or the success you make materially. And I think you have to look within yourself and find that inner success and that inner peace, and to cultivate community, cultivate meaning through doing something meaningful in this life. And that definitely is being lost. And I don't have all the answers, but what I do know is that this empty void is there. And when I think on it, and when I think of the experiences I had, and just, being out here after just doing some somewhat quiet meditation, you know, that peace is such a valuable thing to me, just that peace of mind, having that space to just have a quiet moment, and then being in nature, being outdoors, feeling the sun, feeling the elements, under your feet. It's such a valued thing to me. And I don't know, as much as, of course, I would like to make some more money. Money cannot be the be all end all of your life, because once you go to the grave, you can't take that with you. And I think your peace of mind, when you get to those final moments, you want to have a peace of mind, as a somewhat understanding of who you are and how you fit into this universe. And we can't get our inner peace and understanding of our place in this world by constantly chasing the next material thing. And I think, like, again, in my last video talking about fear, the fear was always going to be there if we do not understand ourselves. And I think we need to seek community and seek to build land and culture together with people, and to create myths of who we are and how we fit into this universe. Otherwise, we will constantly be seeking empty dreams and empty promises.